It's such a privilege to be here with you. Pastor Kobina, at this point where we are visiting your homeland of Ghana with a great sense of gratitude for your ministry within the Presbytery of Philadelphia until you left us a little over 3 years ago to return to Ghana to help with the churches here. So thank you for giving us your time. We hope that you will find this an opportunity to share a bit of your story, that it might be shared with others as they get inspired and encouraged to be a people of faith. So, Kobina, I think it would be fun to hear a little bit about your background, like what drew you to ministry, where did you grow up?
Thank you, Ruth, for this opportunity. I was born in my village in the central, it's in this region.
Okay.
It's about an hour, 30 minutes drive from this place. I was born, my mother had 6 children.
Okay.
The first 5 died at birth,
Wow.
and I was number 6. But when I survived, she died. Just about 7 days after I was born. So I was raised by my father's other wife. My father had other wives. And so I was raised by my father's other wife and with her children. And she was the mother that I had known all my life. Actually, I never knew I had a deceased mother, until somewhere during high school.
Wow.
That somebody told me, your biological mother is late. After high school, I did not have opportunity to go to university because of financial problems. And so I had to go to the city to look for a job. It was in the city that I got lucky, or by grace, to get a job with the Customs and Excise Department. I trained with them for 18 months and was stationed in Accra Airport. I worked at the airport for just about 6 months or so. And then I felt I should go to seminary. And so I left the job and went to seminary.
Wow. Yeah. So from the airport to the seminary?
Yes, from the airport to the seminary. From the airport with lots of money. See, because I was working with customs. And customs, you get to get money because you are inspecting people's suitcases. And you have to mark them as okay.
Yeah.
Okay to go. And in order to do that, you had to take something. Yeah.
So it allowed you the opportunity to save money.
Yeah, to save money, yeah.
And then where did you go to seminary at that point?
The Trinity Theological Seminary, yeah. I actually, the call actually, I believe, became clearer to me when one time, because working with customs and with the money that I was making, I also had friends who were close to me because of the money. And we were doing what young men would do. Young men who had money would do, go into clubs. So one Saturday night, we went to a club, came back drunk.
How drunk?
Very drunk. I could walk.
Okay, well, there we have it.
Yeah. Came back somehow drunk, went to bed with my clothes, including my shoes. So I missed church that Sunday morning. But in my sleep, I heard a song coming from the church. So then I woke up and said, wow, I missed church. And so I woke up, didn't brush my teeth, nothing, just woke up in my shoes and in my dress, and then walked towards it because my house was close to the church.
Okay.
So I walked towards the church and found the youth fellowship of the church, the young people of the church, somebody addressing them, a lady addressing them. I sat behind in the last pew and listened to what the woman was saying, and it looked like everything she was saying was towards me and what I did the previous night. I didn't know the lady, and she didn't know me. So after the speech, then the leader of the group, which I wasn't a member, of the youth group, which I wasn't a member, asked the youth members of the group that if Mama has spoken these words to us, it means some of us are not really sure of our salvation. So if you are here and you are not sure of your salvation, raise up your hands and we'll help you. They hadn't noticed that I was sitting at the back. So when he made that comment, I said, don't worry, it's about me. So I walked forward.
So you went forward?
Yeah, I went forward and raised my hands. And for me, that was the beginning of when I realized that there is a call. Because when they circled around me and laid their hands on me and prayed and prayed and prayed. And from that day on, I dropped drinking, I dropped smoking cigarettes, and I dropped my 2 girlfriends.
Not one, but 2.
2, yes.
Just to be clear for the record.
Yeah, exactly. So I dropped them. I dropped them. And so I started, reading the Bible, this time with intention. Not the usual time that you just flip through and then, And the lady who had spoken to them came to me and said, I want you to be my son. I was about 20, in my early 20s at that time. I want you to be my son. She showed me her house, and then she said, come whenever you want to. So she is the one who mentored me properly into the faith.
You.
She discipled me. And then she said that I believe that there is a call upon your life, and you were just whistling it away. But now that we have found you, now that God has found you, you're going to go. She said, you see that seminary there? You're going to go there. You will study there. You will train as a minister. She's the one who told me, and one day you will travel outside the country and you will start your own church.
Did she really tell you that? Mm-hmm. That was prophetic.
Mm-hmm. I was saying to myself, that's garbage. I'm not going. How am I going to live customs with all the money and go into ministry? And more so because when I was young, the minister in my village used to wear shoes that were torn. The soles of the shoes.
He had holes.
They got holes. And the roads were not paved. And so whenever he passed, you could see, and these roads were not paved. Whenever it rained and he passed, you could see when he made the step and removed, you could see the blocks from the holes. And so my father kept saying that ministry is not a good choice. Look at this man, and look at the coat, the suit he's wearing, and even the shoes. So what my father did is every Sunday, whenever the minister passes in front of our house, my father, if it had rained, then my father would come and shout to us that pastor has already come. I said, how did you know that? He said, go and look at the street. You can see the toes, wow, the sole of his shoes there. So ministry was nothing for me at all until I came to Accra and met this woman who discipled me. Eventually, I got convinced that the Lord had called me. So I quit customs. I quit the job and went to seminary.
So you went to seminary full-time at Trinity?
I did full-time at Trinity 3 years. Yeah.
And then what happened at Trinity? Did you serve a community in Ghana?
After Trinity, I served Presbytery Church of Ghana ordained me, actually commissioned me first, and then I worked for 2 years in a village in the eastern region in their congregation. And after that, they ordained me as a full-fledged minister, and I worked for 3 more years. And after 3 years, I traveled to the United States for further studies.
All right, so that is such a big move. Outside of the prophetic woman who warned you or shared a vision of who you were, what was it that made you consider going to the USA? Was it to study more? Was it to pastor a church? What was it? That's a big move, Kobina.
I wanted to go and study. In Trinity, in the seminary, I had a C in comparative religious studies. The professor who was teaching the course left in the middle of the semester. And so we didn't have a professor, and I thought that contributed to me having a C in that course. And so in Trinity, I said to myself, let me go and study and come back and teach.
So you were going for the academy to teach in the seminary.
That's what sent me to the United States.
So where did you wind up and where did you study?
So I went to Pittsburgh Theological Seminary for 2 years. I did a master's in theology for 2 years.
Okay.
But in Pittsburgh, I got professors who encouraged me that you should consider doing a PhD. So I agreed, and so the 2 years in Pittsburgh, which was the time when I was going to stay in the U.S. and come back,
right,
then turned into decades. Because after Pittsburgh, I went to Temple University, and it was in Temple University that I found the Ghanaian community.
So that's where it was, at Temple, where you connected.
Yes. I came to Temple in 1991. I was in Pittsburgh in 1989 and finished 2 years, and then went to Temple in September 91, to pursue a PhD. And it was in Philadelphia that I met a young man who was a Ghanaian, who introduced me to the Ghanaian community in Philadelphia. It was a large community, much larger than what we had in Pittsburgh. But I discovered that on Sundays, they threw parties. Yeah. No church.
Fellowship without church.
Fellowship without church, exactly so. So I inquired, why don't you go to church? And the usual answer that everybody would be given is, when we go to the white people's church, we don't fit in. And by that, they did not mean just white church, they meant American churches. It's like in Ghana, everybody who speaks like an American is a white person.
Right.
Yeah. So when we go to the white people's church, we don't fit in. And I said, wow. So that is what made me consider starting a Ghanaian church in Philadelphia. So I did a survey, and the result was positive. I did a paper survey.
Okay.
I went to one of their parties. We handed out paper survey, asked them questions. Would you come? Would you want to be part of it? And a whole lot of questions. And when we collected all of them, I realized that if we started a church, they would attend.
It would grow.
It would grow. Yes. So I started it with about 6 people in my apartment.
In your living room.
In my living room in
Temple
University. In my Temple University apartment, living room. And that's where we would meet and do and fellowship and do Bible studies, and then I give them the word, we pray, and then after that we eat. That always accompanied our meetings. And gradually, we started bringing in people. Others began to hear about us. There was no Ghanaian congregation in the area, not in New Jersey, not in Delaware, not in that part, the Philadelphia part of Pennsylvania.
No denominations, no Methodists, no one had
no
one.
No Ghanaian congregation whatsoever. No Methodists, no Roman Catholics. This was the very first Ghanaian fellowship that started in the apartment, in the living room. But we started growing because the people that were doing the parties wanted to be part of this. They had never heard that before since they traveled outside Ghana. And so they were excited. Let's go and see what is happening there. So people came in their numbers, and before long, Temple University threw me out of the apartment.
Why? Too many parties with the Lord?
That was not a church place. And the noise. You know how we worship and the noises.
Very energetically.
And they didn't like it. So before long, Temple University threw me out of the apartment. So we went and looked for another apartment. But then that's the time that we decided, myself and the people I started the church with, we decided to look for a place to go and worship. So in Philadelphia, we approached a number of churches. We had not thought about the presbytery, but we approached a number of local churches. Mm-hmm. There was a Baptist church. I think it's Bright Hope Baptist Church. There was another church. We approached, and then there was a Presbyterian church proper, PCUSA church, that we approached, but none of us was willing to give us a place. So a friend of mine that I had heard from among the Ghanaians took me to a church in North Philadelphia where he and his wife got married. We went there, and that was I think it is Holy Trinity Bethlehem Presbyterian Church. It was pastored by the Reverend Dr. Casey Jones or so.
That sounds right. That's before my time.
That was before your time, yes. And so we went and saw him, and he said, "Oh, you're very welcome." So he gave us a place in Logan. This was in Logan, Holy Trinity Bethlehem Presbyterian Church. And we started worshiping in their fellowship hall. And so then we saw that people were coming. So on Christmas Day, December 25, 1995, that's the day that we decided to outdoor the church, to do a Christmas Day program and invite the entire Ghanaian community in Philadelphia to come. So they came, and they came in their numbers. The place was packed. Yeah. And Dr. Jones officiated it for us. I gave the first sermon, but he officiated it for us. And that is how the United Ghanaian Community Church was born. We did not include the name Presbyterian, but it was strategic. It was for a purpose. Because there was a debate on it. And I didn't want us to include the name Presbyterian because I wanted us to be able to capture non-Presbyterians.
To be more inclusive those who are seeking.
Yes.
Especially, I would imagine, you were opening yourself up to people who are migrating into a land that's not their own.
That's right.
So you don't want them to feel isolated because they're not Presbyterian.
Because they are not Presbyterian.
Right.
So we opened our gates up to everybody, every Ghanaian, and even non-Ghanaians.
Right.
Yeah. And so I insisted that I don't want the name Presbyterian, but we will not abandon Presbyterianism. It's going to be the basis for our
government.
Our yes.
So when did you? I'm curious because I don't know the answer. When did you approach the presbytery? Because many Ghanaian churches just exist on their own. When and why?
So when it was Dr. Jones, Casey Jones, who suggested that we approach the presbytery. So he led us to the Presbytery of Philadelphia.
Good man.
Yeah, he led us to the Presbytery of Philadelphia. And this was in 1996. I don't remember the exact month, but it was in 1996. We did the opening ceremony on Christmas Day, 1995. And somewhere in the first quarter of 1996, he led us to the Presbytery of Philadelphia to inquire as to whether they would be willing to accept us as a new church development. Yeah. And lo and behold, we went and they said, we will. That was spearheaded by Dr. Robert Rickstad. He's also late. He was the coordinator for New Church Development in the Presbytery. At that time, the Presbytery was in downtown Philadelphia. Yeah. And so the Presbytery of Philadelphia then accepted us, but before accepting our fellowship, they said they needed to accept me as a member of the Presbytery.
Right.
Yeah, so that ceremony was done in Wayne, Pennsylvania. Yeah. And it was significant to me because when I was in Pittsburgh Theological Seminary, John Galloway, I'm not sure whether you came to meet John Galloway.
I know John because we served on the board of trustees at Princeton together.
Princeton, exactly. So John, when I was in Pittsburgh, I think John was with Fox Chase Presbyterian Church in Pittsburgh, John and his wife, Susan. And they used to pick me up every weekend to spend the weekend with them in their home in Pittsburgh. And so when we decided to bring the church to the Presbytery, and they chose Wayne, lo and behold, I didn't even know John was the one there, but all of a sudden, somebody pops up, and it was at a Presbytery meeting, and I saw John, and John says, "Kobina, don't be surprised." And so they accepted me into membership of the Presbytery, and then was followed the acceptance of the fellowship as a Presbytery fellowship.
What a great story, Kobina, because sometimes you hear stories where churches and presbyteries don't share the vision, and so for your vision to be recognized with a vision for the gospel at the presbytery, and I said, thank you, Jesus. So what has it been like? What was it like now being responsible for a West African, mostly Ghanaian congregation in a diaspora context as opposed to when you were serving in your native land of Ghana?
I always have said that being a minister outside of Ghana is a lot more difficult than being a minister in Ghana. And the reason I say that is that with my experience, I became not only their minister, I also became their family herd, the traditional family herd that you would have in Ghana.
You became that.
I became that.
For the whole church.
For the whole church. Here, when you are in Ghana, the family exists. The traditional family exists. But when they are outside Ghana, the family is not there. Everybody saw the church as their family. And so the minister then becomes the head of the family. And so issues that are brought to me for resolution are not only spiritual issues and church issues, but family issues. I also became their immigration officer.
Yes, you did.
I had to study immigration in order to know the rules, who to talk to. I made lots of friends, immigration lawyer friends in Philadelphia, deliberately, because church members needed immigration help. And so you become that too to them. You also become their friend and their confidant. Because out there, it's different than when you are in Ghana. In Ghana, the family is there and you can just, rise up and go visit without even calling and say, I'm coming over.
Right.
But then you find yourself there, you have to call to make an appointment. Inform somebody that I'm coming. Is it okay that I come? And nobody even has the time to receive you as a visitor. They're all at work. And so they needed somebody they could confide in, somebody they could talk to, a friend, somebody who could share, they could share their troubles, they could share their frustrations with. And so you become that also to them. And so working with them in Philadelphia as their minister and the first that they had ever had in the area was a lot of work. People will wake me up 2 a.m. and I had to drive all the way from New Jersey, an hour plus to Philadelphia to settle issues, disputes. Sometimes the police had already been called. I go to the police station, we talk about it, they release them, they come home. And so it was difficult, but I enjoyed it. The person that was not happy about most of the time would be, family members, my wife and the children.
I was going to ask that next. As a child of clergy, how did? Because I know I witnessed your work also as an acculturation advisor. How is it that you're going to get work? How you helping people find security so they could stay. And I experienced you and others in the Ghanaian community offering that service as well, right? And it's scary.
Yeah,
you come to another land and you have to make an appointment that you may not get for a week, right? So you become even more symbolic in ways than a tribal chief. You become this family head, as you said, trusted to care for them. So how did you try to balance your life? Because in 2025, balance is a very big deal. In 1990-something, we weren't really talking about how you take care of yourself. How do you feel you created a balance? Or maybe you didn't.
I didn't see it. It just happened. I just wake up and I'm gone. I just wake up and I was teaching at the same time. And so I go to school, they call me after class, I go visit somebody. I didn't see, it was tough, but the important thing is that the passion for ministry was there. And so I didn't see it as a tough thing for me to do.
Yeah.
I did it with love. I did it with passion. And so I wasn't tired doing it. Yeah.
One thing that struck me as I was getting to know you was the intentionality that you brought to who would become your successor.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I experienced a lot of thoughtful energy. You did not want to leave with your flock untended. So what was that like? I mean, because that's very unusual. I mean, we see it more and more, especially with immigrant communities. We can't treat the governance of the church so rigidly. But you did a remarkable thing, because now, almost 4 years later, United Ghanaian Community Church is doing well.
Yeah.
And are a very important part of our presbytery life. Like, we see them, and they know we see them. And not all churches, little, small, whatever, experience that. What played out in your mind about who could that be? How did you discern that?
I stayed in the U.S. for 15 years without coming to Ghana. The first 15 years, I never came to Ghana. Actually, 16 years. The first 16 years, I never came to Ghana. So in 2005, I decided to come home because my big brother passed. So I came. And when I came and realized that a lot had gone on here, which I didn't know, those who had passed, family members who had died and gone, friends gone, and a lot of changes had taken place, I said to myself that I must come back home. I must come back home. And then I also realized that many people didn't know me.
Back home.
At home.
So home wasn't feeling like home used to feel.
At all. At all. The younger generation didn't know me. They referred to me by pointing to my nephews and nieces. Oh, so-and-so's uncle. This is so-and-so. They didn't know me. And I felt bad. I felt that I had abandoned my people in Ghana. So that was when the desire to return to Ghana began to be nursed. That was in 2005.
Wow.
So when I returned to the U.S., I started telling those who were close to me that I think I have to go back to Ghana and stay there and give back to my people before I become too old to go and share my life with them. People didn't believe that. Especially with the church, United Ghanaian Community Church, that was now growing. And then me leaving the church, at that time they said, oh, Pastor, that's not going to be possible. But what I did is, from 2005, every year I came home until 2022 that I returned permanent. So I was nursing the desire to relocate to Ghana all the way back from 2005. One thing I had in my mind is that because the church was patterned, or was because we opened our doors for all people from all congregations. We have SDA people there, we have Jehovah's Witnesses people there, we have Church of Pentecost people there, we have Assemblies of God, we have Apostolic people there. And these people I'm talking about, many of them have gone through ordination as elders and deacons in our church. Yeah, we have Roman Catholics there, we have Methodists there. actually, the number of Presbyterians in our church proper, the number of traditional Presbyterians, you may not be able to count about 30. Yeah, most of them are people from other denominations who have accepted the church and the way we worship.
They found a home.
They found a home. And I designed the liturgy in such a way that it would not be your typical Presbyterian Church of Ghana liturgy, nor the typical PCUSA liturgy. I did a mixture of them. And so when people come, they feel at home. What I was scared about when these ideas of me relocating to Ghana, what scared me was a successor. Someone who could keep the people together and not cause a split. Because many times you see churches splitting up when leaders are gone. So I was very concerned about that. So right from the time that I decided to relocate to Ghana, I was also thinking about who to succeed me. I didn't want, and there was this practice that some Ghanaian PCUSA churches go to the Presbyterian Church of Ghana for ministers.
Right, they go back home.
Yeah, and come there.
Right.
And I didn't want that to happen in our church, because if they brought a Presbyterian Church of Ghana minister to our church, that person could cause a split in the church. And I say that with passion, because if that minister comes and begins to do things typically Ghanaian Presbyterian,
Instead of the ecumenical embrace that you created,
it will fade away, and people will go.
right.
At that time that we are talking about, that I was deciding to come to Ghana, the Church of Pentecost had come. They had formed the Church of Pentecost. Assemblies of God was there. Apostolic Church was there. SDA was there. People from Ghana, Ghanaian churches. There are some Pentecost from Ghana. All of these are churches from Ghana. So if we were not careful, the members who belong to those congregations might go back and join their traditional Ghanaian congregation that have been formed in Philadelphia. So I needed somebody who could glue these members together after I was gone. If I brought a Presbyterian minister from Ghana, they may not have been able to put these people together, especially if they began to do things typically Ghanaian Presbyterian. Other members will say, well, this is not what we bargained for. I'm going to the Church of Penn, that's where I belong. Or I'm going to this place, that's where I belong. So,
Well, plus you were also growing the next generation.
That's right.
And you don't want it. I remember you shared, you don't want them to leave.
Exactly. The youth, particularly.
Yeah.
The youth, particularly. Yeah. Because they were the ones, and now in the UGCs, you can see how they are quickly replacing the old folks. Yeah, they are. They are.
That's amazing.
Yeah, when you go to the board of session, you can see them having been elected as session members. So I started thinking, and I thought about Isaac. Now, Isaac, I knew Isaac a little bit before he came to the U.S. because when Gina came to the U.S., her sister introduced her to me and said, Pastor, this is my little sister from Ghana. I need her to, she was at the University of Cape Coast, but she didn't complete there. She came here. I need you to help her go to Temple, because I was teaching at Temple. I was a student there and I was teaching at the same time. So I helped Gina, get admission to Temple University, rented her. This is where the library is. This is. I showed her places in there, and so one time I asked her, and then I I said to her, I'm going to take you as my daughter.
Look out, Gina.
That's right. I'm going to take you as my daughter. So feel free to call me at any time if you need any help. And gradually, she went through Temple University and graduated. Now, at a certain point, she and I spoke about a possible future mate, a soulmate.
No, so now you're matchmaking too.
Exactly. They knew each other already. And then she said, I was going to match her with one of my nephews in Massachusetts. Because I didn't know about Isaac at that time. And then Gina said, oh, Daddy, I have someone in Ghana that I am talking with. And so then I said, oh, okay, that's fine.
Poor nephew.
Then I said, so who is this guy? And then he mentioned Isaac. I said, okay. So in that case, and then she said that Isaac is at the University of Cape Coast here.
Right.
I said, in that case, we'll have to work to let Isaac come and join you. So we did all the groundwork, and Isaac was able to join her. When Isaac came, actually, he had gotten admission to go to, I think, University of Massachusetts. Yeah, to do a master of science in mathematics.
That makes sense.
But before he went, before we saw him off to go to Massachusetts, is it Massachusetts? Yeah. I told Isaac, young man, I am not going to let you go before you marry my daughter.
A matchmaker and enforcer.
So marry her before we let you go to your school. And he says, I have, how do I do that? I said, don't worry about that. We'll work it out.
I love this.
Yeah. So we managed and did everything. So at the marriage ceremony, I served as Gina's father, received her drinks from Isaac's hands. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh,
I didn't know you were Gina's daddy.
Yeah, I received the drinks from Isaac as Gina's father, and then I gave Gina's hand away to Isaac to marry. And then after the marriage, we saw him off to go to school. So then from then, every holidays, he would come. I started studying him carefully whenever he came on holidays. I'm talking about Isaac in Philadelphia. And I realized that he has something in him that tells me that he's a potential candidate for ministry. So I spoke with him. And he wasn't too...
he wasn't.
Yeah, he was a little hesitant.
Right.
Don't put it that way. But eventually, the Lord opened the way for him.
Yeah.
And then I was able to pinpoint him as my possible successor in the church. So from that time onwards, I gave him jobs to do. He represented me whenever I wasn't able to go. And then when he finished seminary and came back to Philadelphia, when he finished school and came back to live with Gina in Philadelphia, I even got him more and more involved in the church activities, in leadership. Eventually, he got elected as an elder, and so that's how I I picked him as my successor. I picked him because I could trust him. I could trust him because he was an insider. He was a homemade, if I should put it that way, homemade minister for the church. And so he knew the dynamics of the church. He knew the different members in the church and the different denominations they were coming from and how to bring them together, how to keep them together. And I think it has paid off. I think it has really, really paid off because I sit back now and I see how he's handling the church and I'm so gratified.
Well, and I will tell you, as someone who watches people try to pick successors, not always succeeding, I have been deeply touched by really your thoughtfulness. And I agree with you. I believe Isaac has been a wonderful success at carrying on the kind of legacy, if anything else, that you wanted, which was to keep these people together who, in another setting, might not feel as welcome. But it was the climate you birthed and created, and he could carry that in his own way now, right? So what do you miss most now about the U.S., if anything?
Oh, it's the church. It's the United Ghanaian Community Church. Of course, here I have been assigned a congregation by the Presbytery Church of Ghana as an associate minister. They're good. They're very lovely congregation. They know how to take care of their ministers. But I nurtured a family, a church family in Philadelphia.
You birthed them.
That's right. I nurtured them.
Right. You grew them.
Grew them. And so leaving them was tough. But I had to do what I had to do. So I miss the congregation a lot. Yeah, I thank God whenever they come, they visit me.
They find you.
They look for where I am and they find me. I go visit them. They call me. That's why I said that retired and yet not retired. Because I follow them to their family funerals. I follow them to their weddings. Some of the weddings, I am the one who perform it for them. Here, they come all the way from Philadelphia and then they let me perform their weddings for them. So, but I really miss the family that I birthed in Philadelphia and nurtured. The good thing is that I hear from them more often.
Well, and I think you leave. Now I'm going to speak very practically because you were so revered. You leaving Philadelphia, coming to Ghana, gave Isaac and Gina an opportunity to rise to the hope that you would want for them. But if you would have been there, it would have been harder.
Exactly so.
So when you left to become this priest in Ghana again, right? It was a wonderful gift to them.
And then here in Ghana, you wouldn't have that opportunity because the system is different. I'm talking about the Presbyterian Church of Ghana and how they recruit their ministers.
How is that?
Well, you can still mentor candidates and recommend them for training. But when they are done training, you don't get them in your church. The church sends them away. So that's all. You don't get them, and the relationship that you have with them just becomes one of, they trained, they are gone. You have a close relationship with them, but it's not like what happened in Philadelphia, picking Isaac, getting him trained, and coming back and replacing me. And the kind of relationship that I still have with him, you know, he calling me every now and then, asking, how do I do this? Yeah.
Well, he's got that humility and a vulnerability
exactly. So
that allows him to do that.
So very, very, very much. Yeah.
I'm grateful for how you've grown him as well, because we're blessed by that, right? I can give a party because I'm so happy with how Isaac is doing, and I'm grateful to you for that.
And I get reports from the church members every now and then. Yeah, I get reports from the church members. I'm sure you do. Yeah. And it's all been positive results, reports from the church members. Yeah. From church members in Philadelphia. Yeah. They call me and they say, oh, Isaac, his pastor is doing very well. Holding down the fort for you very well. I said, that's what I always wanted.
That's got to make you feel very proud and joyful.
And very fulfilled.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and here you gave a gift that continues. So if you were going to talk, you see now a new generation in the church, right? Here in Ghana. The changing face of the church is real. What would your advice be to those seeking to go into ministry today? You know, you bring a great joy and passion for what you have done and continue to do. What would you tell people?
My father didn't know I was going to seminary until I entered seminary. So when I came back home to the village one time and I told him, I am no longer working for the government, I am in seminary. I'm going to become a minister. There's one thing my father told me, that if you want to become a minister, it's a good idea. It's the best thing that you could do. Your mother wanted that, my late mother. And that's when my father explained to me the name Samuel. I used to be called Samuel. That's another story. I changed it without knowing.
You changed your name?
I did, without knowing why. So it was when I came back home one time, and then I told my father, I'm no longer working for the government. I am now in seminary, training to become a Presbyterian minister. My father cried. But that's another story. So, but then the advice he gave me is that you stay away from women, you stay away from the bottle, that is drink.
Right,
and
I got it.
And then you stay away from money. I let that, sink into me. When I came to Ghana, one thing I have seen is how quick people want to be in ministry, not because of the passion that they have for the work of the Lord, but because of money. It has sort of become the second, in this kind, that's my experience so far. It's sort of become the second, the second best way to make money, to go into ministry.
In the pastorate?
Oh, yes.
What church is that?
I'm not talking about the Presbyterian Church, the Methodist. I'm talking about the one-man independent churches. Yeah. And they're all over the place. Yeah. What I would tell the younger generation who want to go into ministry is exactly what my father told me. You have to go into it with passion. Passion, the desire to do the work of the Lord. When I was a minister, before I went to the U.S., my first station that they sent me, my first church that I was stationed at, did not have electricity, no water, no toilet in the house. The toilet was about half a mile away. And the road that led to the toilet was a foot, how do you call that? A trail.
A trail.
Like an Indian trail, yeah. And I was disappointed.
There you were.
Knowing where I had come from, customs, big money from the airport. And then here, I was disappointed. But it got to a point when I packed my stuff and said, I'm out of here. Yeah. But somehow I managed to stay. There was no money. Your pay wouldn't come. I mean, your salary wouldn't come for about 3-4 months.
Oh my gosh.
Before I went to the US, the church owed me, I think, about 6 months in salary. They never paid till now. They never paid till now, but I left anyway. So I want to, those who might want to enter into ministry, it shouldn't be about money. It should be for the passion that you have for doing the work of the Lord. And I always said that if we do not give up, we will. The Lord will.
God is always before us. Look, so what if you were going to summarize the work of the Lord today? What would it be? What would it look like? What does that mean to you? Because you've said it several times.
Yeah. People have to know that ministry is not for. It's not a place where you go make money or you expect to be most happy. That there are trials, there are temptations, there are tribulations that may come across, not all the time, but may come across, and especially when you are in this part of the world. It is tedious. And so, for me, the work of the Lord is when you have dedicated yourself, when you have dedicated yourself to the Lord and told the Lord, I want to serve you, I want to do your work, and that's what I will do, regardless of what comes my way. I am not going to give up on God. There's a song in Tree, I'm not going to say that, but it says in English, I can say it in English, that I am never ever going to give up on you, Lord, regardless of what happens or comes my way. And so ministry is not the place where you think you will go and have fun. No, it is okay to have fun.
Sure.
But if you want to have fun, it shouldn't be in ministry. That's my experience. It shouldn't be in ministry. It's a serious business, and it's a business that takes over your life. Jesus will take over your life, and when Jesus takes over your life, you have no life but Jesus. You have no life of your own. And if you have that mindset that my life does not belong to me, it belongs to the Lord, and therefore, wherever He sends, I will go. And that's why when after seminary here in Ghana, when they sent me to that village, I said I got disappointed, but later I came to myself and I said, Lord, I'm sorry. This is where you want me to be. I will be here. Yeah.
Here I am, Lord.
Here, my Lord, send me, use me.
I think you have a wonderful, rich ministry that has touched many of us, but especially West Africans and Ghanaians in the United States and in this beautiful land that we are just beginning to get a glimpse of. And I think, personally, if it weren't for your witness, I don't know that I would have. I feel like God's Spirit moved through your witness and Isaac to say, this is something that could have longevity beyond a moment. It's organic, and it's in part because of your witness and how you embody the gospel on the pulpit, outside the pulpit, and as a colleague. So I want to thank you so much for that and for your time here today. I'm so excited to be with you.
Me too. Me too. Thank you so much. This visit to Ghana by the Presbytery of Philadelphia means a lot to me. I feel fulfilled. I went out there. I offered my life to the Lord. Initially, when I was going, I knew I was going to go in for academics, which I did, but eventually starting the church and giving myself and my time, my everything, including my money. And I didn't say this part. I worked for the church in the United Ghanaian Community Church. I served them for 5 years without pay. I served them for 5 years without pay.
Wow,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for 5 years.
It was a new church development that takes a very special call.
Yeah, I served them for 5 years without pay, and doing all of that for me was doing the work of the Lord, and now I am back, and here I see the Presbytery of Philadelphia coming all the way from Philadelphia to visit Ghana. I was overwhelmed when Isaac told me that you were coming. So I'm so grateful for this visit. And I pray that you will come again. Yeah, I pray that you will come again.
I think I can safely speak for all the delegation that we are committed to see. We didn't come with an agenda. We came with an openness to see where God might pull some strings together so that this relationship will survive. I'll survive you, I'll survive me. So I'm very excited. Well, thank you, Kobina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Blessings to you.
Blessings.